Welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Quinnell. Back in the days gone by of 2018, Tessa Blanchard was one of the most sought-after talents in the wrestling world. After her run in Impact Wrestling, it seemed only a matter of time before she was brought into WWE, and the sky was seemingly the limit for her. Then there was a bunch of allegations about her which saw many people and promotions not want to work with her. Blanchard also married AAA wrestler Daga, but the two divorced in January this year. And now Conan revealed that Blanchard is not welcome back in AAA on his Keeping It 100 podcast. She was very disrespectful. She was like, oh, the only reason I'm in Mexico is because of Daga. It would be very uncomfortable after the way they got separated that she'd be in the same dressing room with him, and then I don't want to put him in that situation. They were married, she hooked up with some other guy, and he found out like one of the boys. Meanwhile, Stardom has had a hell of a week, hasn't it? There's WWE potentially looking at signing one of their top stars, more on that in a bit. Another of them signed a deal with a new Joshi promotion, more on that later too, and another of their top stars being rumored to leave for months now, and now there appears to be some tension brewing elsewhere too. Megan Bayne has been wrestling in Stardom since July, but as reported by Fightful Select, it turns out she's been signed to AEW this whole time. Fightful reported that Bayne had been sent to Stardom on an excursion to hone her skills more, but this is where Stardom refute that. In a since deleted tweet, Stardom tweeted that no wrestler has ever been sent by AEW to come to Stardom. Not once. Which, while just merely stating a fact that Bayne was not sent to Stardom, it seems a little heated, right? Sean Ross Sapp then clarified that Stardom were refuting that Bayne was sent by AEW because it's not an excursion in the classic use of the word. However, they maintain that Bayne has been signed by AEW for months and got approval from AEW before traveling to Japan. Stardom also sent another since deleted tweet saying, I'm the person that negotiated with Megan every step of the way, leading to her coming to Japan. I've been involved with bringing a large majority of Stardom's foreign talent for 8 years now. It's my job. Which again, feels a little heated, right? But how much heat is there here, really? I'm no heat expert, so it's time to hand it over to WrestleTalk's weather reporter, Helen Temperature, to give us the rundown. How's it looking out there, Helen?
It's 3 today. 3. You know what they say, good things come in threes.
Are you sure that's the phrase?
Yep, just like how small things come in small packages.
Is that a wrestling reference?
What's wrestling?
Okay. Thank you, Helen. As mentioned previously, WWE are also looking to sign a top Stardom soon in the form of Julia, the current New Japan Strong Women's Champ, according to PW Insider. The talks are reportedly so far along that she's expected to be at the WWE Performance Center later this month. However, according to Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Forum, Julia is signed to Stardom until March and couldn't go to the PC without Bushiroad's approval, as well as her schedule being solidly booked through January. On top of all this, it had been rumored that WWE were interested in re-signing Syres to the promotion as well, before it was revealed yesterday that Syres had actually signed a multi-year deal with new American Joshi promotion Sukeban, based in New York. According to Fightful, WWE sources hadn't approached her or offered her anything. It was just a name that had been floated out as a potential one, so there was no ill will about her decision. There's more news on WrestleTalk.com today as well, so make sure to check it all out now. Over to Luke. Thank you as always, Pete, but now it's time for my review of Monday Night Raw, aka the War Games edition of Monday Night Raw, in about 5 minutes. The show opened with a wonderful change of pace. Seth Rollins came out for a promo. He recapped the happenings at Crown Jewel where Sami Zayn stole the Money in the Bank briefcase from Damian Priest. Seth called out Sami, who obliged, but without the briefcase, because it turns out he just gave it back to Adam Pearce. Alright then. Sami said that he stopped Priest because if Priest won the World Heavyweight Championship, there's a chance that Judgment Day will become Bloodline 2.0. And Seth announced, as a thank you, that he'd spoken with Pearce to get Sami a shot at the title, which Sami accepted for tonight. A very good opening segment this was. Sami is a really special talent. Judgment Day then beat New Day in a good little tag match to further that tag division rebuild. More on that in a bit. And it was announced later that they'll defend their tag titles next week against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Drew McIntyre came to work, but then got all pouchy and went home. And Shinsuke Nakamura beat Akira Tozawa, with Tozawa getting Halloween 1 week late by cosplaying as Black Rain from TNA. Goldust WWE return confirmed. Otis got in the ring after the match, and it was announced later that those two will face off next week. We got a video promo for Natalya, and Adam Pearce did a video promo of his own hyping up the 4 men in the #1 contenders match to Gunther's IC title. This was a cool way of building interest into the match and building all 4 dudes up, and it led to a very fun 4-way between The Miz, Bronson Reed, Ricochet, and Ivar. The best stuff was the big dudes beating
beating up the little dude in Ricochet, and the crowd was super into Miz's babyface comeback. The finish was also really cool, as Reed and Ivar both climbed to their respective top ropes to hit their respective top rope moves. Then it got a little bit clunky. The idea here is that Reed would miss his move and Miz would pin him, while at the same time, Ivar would hit his move and he would pin Ricochet. The ref counted 3, but hesitated because both men were pinning at the same time, which gave Ricochet enough time to kick out, and Miz scored the win. It left a rather confused crowd who just wanted to cheer the Miz winning, and a commentary team scrambling to try and explain what just happened. I think, in fairness, this was a good idea in principle, I just don't think the execution was particularly good. Ivar attacked Miz after the match, and it was later announced they'll face off next week. A good match, and say what you will about the Miz, and I've said a lot, there is no denying the man was over like Rover. We got a video promo for the Creed brothers and a recap of them and Ivy Nile signing their Raw contracts earlier in the day, and then they beat DIY in a fun tag match where Kaiser interfered on Gargano for the finish. Becky Lynch cut a promo and was interrupted by Nia Jax, and the two made jokes about Nia botching and getting fired. Injuring people's funny. They also had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven do some comedy with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, all to set up the idea that the following Battle Royal was every woman for themselves. And what a fun little Battle Royal it was. They told a few stories in all of this, which is what all good Battle Royals should do. First off, Xia Li attacked Becky Lynch before the match and got herself DQ'd, but also took Lynch out of the match. A good way to protect Becky in this match. Her rear match is clearly being saved for Mania, and it put over Lee's spin kick, as that's now 2 women she's knocked out in as many weeks. Did make Lee look a little bit thick though, because she eliminated herself from a match where she could have won a title shot. They also put over Ivy Nile hard, as she made it to the final 4 of the match before being eliminated by an already eliminated Nia Jax. She also got quite a few eliminations herself. And thirdly, it put over Zoe Stark, who won the whole match, last eliminating tag partner Baszler. Stark is a fine match for Ripley at Survivor Series, but I think she would have been a better choice if she wasn't just in a title match with Ripley 2 days ago, where she lost. The final few minutes with Stark and Baszler were very good. And the main event saw Sami Zayn challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. On a recent 3 count, Ollie Davis's 3 words to describe Seth Rollins were, always rooting against. And I agree with him. I was more into the idea of AJ Styles winning the belts. I was more into the idea of Finn Balor winning the belts. I was more into Drew McIntyre winning at Crown Jewel. Something about this Seth run just isn't connecting with me personally, and I can't quite put my finger on why. But I once again found myself wanting to see the guy Rollins was facing win the belt from him. Seth has got real Triple H in 2004 vibes about him. But this was a good match, as you would expect, and Seth got the win with a surprise roll-up, putting over the idea that he survived this world title defense rather than convincingly defending it. And then it all happened, and by all happened, I mean the same thing that's been happening for a few months now. Judgment Day ran out for a brawl, Jey Uso ran out for the brawl, Cody Rhodes ran out for the brawl, Adam Pearce came out and said, War Games! I told you this was going to be a long 2 months to get here, and bloody hell it has been, but look, we're here now. We're here now when we got War Games. I imagine Kevin Owens and Jimmy Uso will get added to the match to make it 5-on-5. This was a really good, cracking edition of Monday Night Raw with a fabulous world title match, a good battle royal, fun tag action, and a fatal 4-way that, clunky finish aside, was very entertaining. This week's show is a high 4 out of 5. The semi-finals of Fantasy Booking Warfare kick off this week with myself versus Oliver Davis, where I'm going to crush him. So find out who is making it to the other side of the semi-final bracket as Laurie Blake and Pete Quinnell book Logan Paul as WWE Champion.